What's up, guys? Another video. This one's going to be going up directly after the video that I made on this Iron Cross right here, but this is going to be some of the differences between a 1957 World War II or a 1957 repeat award, either World War I or World War II, because of course they had the swastika on it. That got banned after Germany lost the war, so they couldn't keep those, so they had to create one with 1939 and then a little oak leaf cluster on there. This is going to be the difference between one that is constructed almost identical to the World War II Iron Cross to the World War I Iron Cross, and there are some differences. Now, of course, the first most noticeable difference is going to be one has silver tarnish, one doesn't, because it has nickel alloy frame instead of a silver frame. This one was handmade, this one was made by a machine. Now again, this is similar to a World War II one because from what I understand, most of World War II ones actually had a nickel alloy frame, even though it was called fine German silver. That is actual silver. This is a nickel alloy that they used after the war for all of the awards. Now, it doesn't have quite as nice of a sheen as an original World War I silver one would have, but I do believe if you were an officer in the Third Reich, you probably could get one made after, you were initially awarded a Iron Cross First Class. You could get one made with actual silver. I'm sure that was an option as long as you had proof that it was awarded to you. But not a lot of people did that, probably because mostly these were awarded to, people of lower ranks. Or, well, not really lower ranks. I take that back. It was more like awarded to people between sergeant and lieutenant. And then once you got higher than that, you had a greater chance of being awarded the Knight's Cross and stuff like that for brave military decisive actions and bravery in combat and stuff like that. But then there was also awards like the close combat clasp as well as close combat badge and all that other random awards for different things as well as wound badges. But anyway, if you look at these two, which I mentioned in my other video, this one is larger than this one. And again, I believe that honestly because this one was handmade, this one was made by a machine. That's at least my understanding as to why they're slightly different sizes, even though they are both magnetic. The cores are the same width and everything, and they were probably made by the same damn dies because that one looks identical to this one. However, this one does have a little bit crisper of a stamping on the iron core, as you can see there. And as to this one, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but this one just doesn't seem quite as crisp. Although it's still very crisp, but it just doesn't seem quite as crisp as a actual World War I Iron Cross would be. Now, again, both during World War II and World War I, there were instances of people having brass cord Iron Crosses. Me personally, I don't like collecting those because, I don't know, I kind of feel like there could be a fake out there and someone might want to charge a lot of money for a fake and knowing it's a fake because a brass core Iron Cross is worth a lot of money because it was a rare variation. So I tend to stick to ones that I can clearly tell are originals that have iron cores. Now, the next thing that I'm going to point out is, now this I'm going to have to take you very close in, and I also found this out on some kind of Wehrmacht forum that was discussing Iron Cross awards. As you can see, if it would focus, again, having lovely issues, there we go. So as you can see, look at how pointy those edges are of this metal, and there you can better see the kind of slight defect in whatever they were cutting out the frame with or punching it out with. But this one has very sharp edges. Now this one, like World War II Iron Crosses, has rounded corners. As you can see, they are nowhere near as pointy as the actual World War One Iron Cross from 100 years ago. But anyway, so I mean that's really all the difference is, but I can also show you the pin mechanisms as well. As you can see, this one, the pin has a C-loop, comes all the way back, then bends around, as you can see right there. It bends around that, and that's a little brass pin right there, and then comes back and is bent back up, and then is bent back down, which then puts pressure on this nickel back plate of this award, keeping this pin pinned actually in the C-loop like it's supposed to, which is a slight variation from the one that I have. Mine, the pin latch or the pin hinge is lower on the upper arm of the cross than that one was, and it has a wider sorry, it has a wider pin that expands out and then goes back in and then comes back down. And if you'll notice, it does not have that pin going all the way around. It's just cut right there and was just soldered on. But how this one works is, instead of applying pressure through the pin, going all the way through and then back down to apply pressure onto this like a wound badge would, it applies pressure to that hook right there. As you can see, it's kind of hard to see in this lighting, but it's putting pressure on the very end of the C-loop on that side over there, and isn't moving, because when I undo this hook, the pin wants to go that way, and I do honestly believe that was done on purpose in order to keep this pin pinned on to the uniform and not falling off in combat or anything like that. Again, I still don't know if this L13 Iron Cross, which that's another variation, this one has the L13 stamping under there. It's kind of hard to see. You can kind of see it right now, but that pin is kind of creating a shadow. So it's very, wait. Yeah, you can see the 3 there, but you can't see the 1. But anyway, it is indeed marked L13. Now, the only difference, again, is these post-World War II ones I don't think were ever marked. Now, I could be wrong, but I don't think these were ever had any markings or anything, because Dumar and ST and L, which I'm not going to try to pronounce the German name because I fuck German words up to no end trying to pronounce them properly, but that one doesn't have any mark, that one has a mark, and that one was some random company in Berlin that made that during the First World War. And again, I don't know if it was a combat issue or if it was just a private purchase that wasn't a curved version, because I understand that the curved or vaulted versions, which I have one coming, they were more sought after in like the Air Corps or the officers. They'd prefer them. I don't know exactly why. I'm guessing it took more, you know, they were higher quality, I'm guessing. But I mean, again, compared to anything today that any military awards, these are out of their league, in my opinion. But anyway, this is just my short little video on the differences between an actual World War I Iron Cross and one that was made to similar fashion as a World War II one. I don't have a World War II Iron Cross because they are really expensive. And another thing that I'm going to add is, it's funny how World War II Iron Crosses are expensive, and yet there was over 300,000 of those awarded. But in World War I don't even think half of that number was awarded of these, like I have right here. And yet these are much less expensive. So that's why I'm more interested in obtaining a few more examples of these, because in reality, these are more rare, yet they're less expensive. So it's just all depending on what someone's willing to pay, from what I'm understanding. But anyway, that'll about do it. I don't know exactly when the next video will come out, probably sometime in October after this, because that'll be when, you know, my wound badges and the other Iron Cross gets here, as well as Iron Cross ribbons. So anyway, if you like this video, like, share, subscribe, do, whatever you want to do. And I hope you have a great day.